Hello and welcome to part 5 of our Martini Brabham 1/12 scale Tamiya kit build. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. If this is the first time you're seeing the video, you can go back and watch the playlist where we go right from the unboxing all the way up to where we're at now. Give us a thumbs up if you like it, and if you think of any comments along the way or tips or suggestions, let us know in the comments down below. That'd be great. And if it so motivates you, then down in the description there's ways you can support the channel. There's a PayPal option, there's a buy me a coffee option, there's also a join button, as we're now taking memberships, and you can join the channel for a few extra perks. Hit the button and take a look, and you'll see what comes up with the for the price of a cup of coffee per month. You'd be doing a great deed of helping support and grow the channel with me. Alright, so let's get on with this. We are up to, well, we just finished step 16 where we put the engine and transmission together, and now we're working on the carburetors, throttle plates as they're calling them in step 17. These are the plates that go across with the fuel injection, which is this, and then we've got these metal pieces that go, well, I think they're more like aluminium pieces that will go across the top and be a nice touch to it. Also in this step we're doing work on the distributor and all the vinyl tubing that we need to cut to length for that, as well as the fuel lines. So quite involved in this step 17. Also at the end of this video there's a short video of all the steps through the instructions that you can refer to, or if you want to join our Facebook group, you're welcome to do that and share not only what you're building, but keep track of what I'm doing as well, and your other fellow members. And also there's a file menu there where you can click on and download those photos of the instructions, because they're not available on Scalemates, unfortunately. They're an older version and not accurate. Alright, I will well, I've painted these up. They're done in the grey, these are done in the aluminium, so these are ready to take apart and put together. Take apart, take off the sprue and put together. So I'll start doing that, and then we'll come back and have a look at the progress. Okay, I'll be back shortly. Alright, so I've started on the funnels there, and as you can see this side's already done. I added a little bit of blue to the connecting nuts underneath there on the fuel injections where the fuel comes in, but they got on really well, no problems at all. And I've just got to put these ones onto this side here, and they'll be done. So I'll continue on. Okay. All right. So progressing along. Distributor leads are all on and glued on, so that's good. We've got the other parts here. These two parts are where the fuel lines are coming out of, and there's our 8 fuel lines cut to 50 mils each, so they're all set to go. I'm just waiting on that to dry, and this down here as well, so I'll start putting these fuel lines on shortly. But going to the instructions, I'll just show you here. So there's the lengths for all the fuel lines. They're all the same length, and you need 8 of them. 4 there. That's the clear plastic tube. Then we've got this one here, which is 2.5 mil long, which goes in the center of the distributor cord, which goes up to the coil, as you'll see it down here. You see, runs up into the coil there, and that part, which I haven't done them or that off the sprue yet. I'm going to see how this goes putting together first. There's all our lengths that we had to do, 2 of each, running left and right off the distributor cap and out. They'll eventually go out to the to those covers on the engine there, where the spark plugs would be underneath. So yeah, pretty good and looking really good. All right, so I'll continue on and come back when we've got the fuel line on anyway, at least. Okay, cheers, be back shortly. All right, back again, another update. I've put all the fuel line hoses on and they're glued on. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I did the blue bolts for the connectors that go on there, just to add a little bit more of this blue throughout the engine. That one's also all done. And at the moment, I'm in the process of doing the other parts in the instruction, which was the looks like was where the coil is. So these are done in beautiful red. Okay, so that's done, and this piece will connect onto that, where that spark plug lead will come off the distributor and lead into that. There's also a piece here that goes on the back of the distributor setup, and this one here, which goes towards the other end of the gearbox, and that's a clear red. I'm guessing that's like the tail light you see on the back of the Formula One cars that flash, particularly when it rains. They turn that on. So I've done that in clear. It still needs some aluminium around the outside of it, as does this. There's a little band around there, an aluminium clip that's used to show that it's being held onto there as well. So I'm just letting them dry properly before I do that. This piece, I think that's pretty right to go. I'll check that. I'm just thinking I may also give that a little connection up there, a bit of a blue as well. We'll see. Excuse me. All right, so yeah, I'll be starting to put all of this stuff together shortly, as soon as these parts here dry, and then we'll come back and see how that's all happening. Okay, back again in a sec. Okay, back with a bit of an update and progress, and as you can see, it's looking pretty good. Got the distributor down there and everything with our fuel lines all sitting down there. I've glued that down. That's probably just dry enough now. Worked out easier than I thought. Connecting these two together with the lines on them was a little bit confusing, a bit tricky, but after you sort of thread them the way they're telling you on the instructions, which I'll just quickly show you here. All right, so on the instructions you can see which way you want them coming out, so that those two pieces will slide together and nothing's going to get in the way of them. Once they're connected and you glue them, then you can connect them to this, all right, which then, or earlier, goes to your distributor cap with all your distributor lines and spark plug leads. So they're all sorted. These, now I've lowered that down in first. It doesn't tell you in what order, but you need to put that in first, because your these will go over the top and they have to thread underneath where the gap will be. All right, so there's a gap under there to thread those fuel lines through, so that then they can be attached to the injectors. That will be interesting to see how well that works. Spark plugs, well, they're going to go down into each location on there, so that shouldn't be a problem. I'm just hoping that they all reach properly. They should, because they're all cut to the correct lengths as instructed. And this one here, which is like the coil, will attach to the top here, and the center spark plug lead will attach onto the end of that there. Looking pretty good. So I'll continue on, and hopefully these will all connect up to the fuel injectors properly and everything else. Oh, and also there was the light on the back there as well. That's there as well, so that went on. And there was also one more piece that we did in the aluminium grey colour there. That went on the back. That's this one, this E26. All right, so after that was put in, that goes on no problem at all. And that's it. So once I get these on and the lines all connected up, that will be the end of step 17. We'll come back and have a look when I've done it. Back shortly. Okay, we're back and step 17 is complete. There we go. Now, I was a bit concerned because putting that, I'm guessing that's the coil where the distributor connects to, the red bit in there. I was worried that they wouldn't, how am I going to get that in there? Maybe I should have put these stacks on after I attached that, because it wasn't really, there's no order in the instructions, but just for the record, if you're building this, it will slide in there and fit. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it. It does slide in. Once you got it in there, you just attach the center spark plug lead into the end of that, and it's good to go. All the spark plug leads are connected from the longest, furthest to the shortest at the closest end. They all reach perfectly. They all like symmetry, really nice, and really gone in. I haven't even glued them. I'm not even going to. They fit so snugly on where those spark plugs are that there's no need to glue them. One thing I noticed doing the fuel hoses there is that there was a couple, the longer ones that reached the furthest, one was a little bit longer than the other, and they weren't looking even. So I did have to trim quite a bit off. Actually, it was a good, like almost, half an inch or a centimetre and a half off. But once I did that, they sit there, they look even on both sides, and it looks really fine. It looks good. So yeah, there it is, looking really good. We're obviously not finished with this. We've still got quite a bit to do, but that is it for step 17. So we'll just have a quick look at the next one, step 18, which is not there. It's over the page. And step 18. So this is where I saw that decal to go on the roll bar, and I'd already put that on. That's why that's ticked and circled. So we don't have to worry about that. Those cables that were hanging loose that come out of the cockpit, they just get tucked down in here going by this. It's just saying that the place vinyl tubes between the engine and chassis. So they'll just get jammed in there, no problem. There's a couple of rubber pieces here, or the H pieces. I don't know, maybe they're not rubber, but they need to go in. And a couple of pieces here with rubber tubing to go in there. It looks like there's a connection point there. A couple of pieces here that don't get glued, and they will be where it attaches onto the frame of the body up here. So that's good. That's good. Other than that, this was here. I just was having a quick look at this. This was confusing me. I haven't looked at it on the sprue yet, but H46, it's painted black. There's another piece to go with it there. There's a side angle of how that should look, but where it is on here, I've got no idea. I can't see it anywhere in the picture. It's confusing, but see the shape of it? It's unusual shape, but if you go down, and this is the same step, okay? And this section's called the cabling. It does have this piece here, which I'm thinking might be that. Okay, just the drawing is a little bit unusual. There's no number on it here. There's no reference to it being that piece, but I'm fairly sure that's what it is. And that's going to go down on here and to the side of the engine. Okay, so and there's also more line vinyl tubing, thick one that runs all the way across from the back of that oil cooler we did on the back of the cockpit. There's another piece running back down into a little connection point down there where we did those little blue parts on the engine for the connections, and another piece that's running out the back there. So looks fairly simple. There's another bit sticking out. Oh, that's what I was wondering what that was. There it is up here. There's that piece sticking out there that's not on the engine, but there it is there. So yeah, with another little tube running through. So Yeah, lots of tubing, but nothing too difficult. I'm pretty sure that piece is that, but we'll figure that out. All right, so I will continue on and get some pieces off and ready, and we'll continue building up this. And obviously in this step as well, we attach this to the body of the car, so it's gonna should look pretty good. You'll also notice down here we've got all the different lengths measurement here, so we can just line up our tubing and do the cutting on that as well. All right, there's another little reference there telling us to trim off a piece that's on this. So anyway, we'll get through all that as we go. All right, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, welcome back. So I've got all the parts painted that are in the lower half of this step 18. So that's all ready to go and be installed on the engine. I've also gone and cut all the tubing that we need, all the different sizes that need to go around. Looks like there's fuel lines and oil lines and a few others that need to be put in. So I'll be doing that as well. And just looking, oh, there it is there. There's that piece on the side. I was wondering where that went. All right. So yeah, this is all looking good, and I'll start putting this on. And if it all goes well without any issue, we'll come back and we'll have this engine connected to the actual rest of the Formula One car. Yeah, because that is part of this step, is getting that connected. It's going to be tricky because there's a lot of parts that need to be handled at the same time as we join the engine together, but we'll see how that goes, because it does actually say in here about the cabling, connect tubing and attach engine at the same time. So yeah, so that's going to be interesting considering I've only got two hands. But we'll see how it goes. All right, so I'll get on with that, and wish me luck. Be back again very shortly. All right, so there you go. We've got the engine connected to the body, and it's not even glued on. The fit is so well. Just these two pins that were put into here, and the way it clips in underneath in the back of the firewall, and that's all holding that in place. Now I've run all the lines, all the tubing through from the oil filter, both sides. The one on this side here, on this side of the car, I guess that's the left-hand side rear, very hard to tell where that's supposed to go. The instructions aren't very clear, but we'll see how we go further in the build to find out where these actually connect to. There's one there, there's one there, and at this stage, even looking ahead in the instructions, I don't know where they go to, where they connect, but we'll wait and see about that. Other than that, everything else has gone on well. The little connections down on the side here went okay. I just need to trim them a little bit smaller so that rod would sit straight with that rubber piece. The other side, the hoses all went round in there, bit of a tight turn in there. I didn't want to kink the hose, but it turned out it's okay. Other than that, there we go, all looking good. There we go, I just got to be careful. Yeah, so that is step 18 completed. So I'll just move this over here for a second. So all of that in step 18 is all done now. So that's all fine. This little piece that I was concerned about, which was this one, it is that one there, even though it doesn't reference to where it is and looks different. That is, and it goes in quite easily. And once you've got that end connected in there, it's obvious where that pops up under the cylinder head and connects into it. So it's all fine. So not a problem at all. So now we go on to step 19, which looks like, well, it is attaching the exhaust, and it says left It only says left side of the exhaust, and that's what it looks like in the picture there. So we're putting that on, and then we've got some more, looks like suspension arms and so forth for the rear to go all on the back of the transmission. So further we go onward, and we'll do some more. So yeah, I'll get some more parts off, put this aside where it's going to be safe for a bit, and we'll continue. Okay, I'll be back again shortly. There you go. Starting to look like a Formula 1 car. Back soon. Okay, I'm back with a couple of tips on doing this exhaust, alright? So there's the exhaust put together and painted. It's still drying, but what I wanted to do is just mention, whatever you do, don't get them mixed up. They are in order, they go in a certain way, and the problem with doing these is the angle. Once you get the first one in, try and get them so that they all line up. Okay, so, and then glue them, and then when they're glued, test fit them so that they're in their location. All right, and also I've also done the other parts in step 19, which I'll move this out of the way. They go on the front here. I'm just going to move that like that and bring this in. So I'm running out of hands here. Okay, so here we go. So here it is here. So once you've got that in, just follow the directions, you'll be fine. Just don't get them mixed up, otherwise you can have all sorts of troubles getting them the right way. Once they're all lined up and they fit, when you test fit them, they all fit in the manifold there, then take it back off and paint it. All right, this part here is an extension here on the exhaust pipe. That's painted, I've got that ready, along with this. That's the exhaust tip at the end. But what I'm doing is these, and these are all painted as well. They're all X18, and I'm going to at least fit this first, because when I fit that and that, as long as this lines up with the hole in that, which is this piece, okay, where those holes are is where the exhaust goes through, and then the tip, the end piece is put on. So when you're gluing it in place, if you've got this already in place, then you can line it up and make sure that it's all straight and it's all going to line up with those two holes there, and then you'll be fine. Okay, those two little anchor points there, I've put them on before I painted, and these two braces are, well, they're already painted as well, all drying at the moment. So I will fit that, then fit the exhaust on, and then I think over the page, see, it's showing there how that is going to look when it's on there. Over the page, it's same thing, the exhaust, but on the other side, so we just do a repeat. All right, there's the tip, it'll go through the piece across you've already done, and then it looks like another sway bar of some sort, or torsion bar going across here, and then we've got some other pieces here which are to do with the suspension, which, yeah, uprights, we've got to go all through that again for the brake system and everything on the rear end of the car. Looks a bit complicated. Anyway, let's not get ahead of ourselves. All right, so let me get this on, I'll see how it goes and let you know, and we'll have a look when it's done. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, back with the exhaust is on, and I'm glad I did the way I said I was going to do it, by putting these brackets on at the back first, so we could line that pipe up and get it to fit. That way you knew that the whole thing was in the right line, right up to the exhaust tip, and it all went on fine. Everything's fitting in, everything's glued in place. I even put these two arms on, and it's looking good. There we go, the exhaust is on. Well, the left hand side is on, now I've got to do the right hand side. Shouldn't be a problem, but in the meantime we can cross off step 19. But like I said, put that on first, so that when you fit the exhaust and then put that on, it's going to come up and you get this at the right angle, because that is not a straight piece. That's it's got an S bend in it, and you don't know if it's right until it lines up with that hole there. Okay, and that needs to be in place. And once it does, that tip just goes in on the end there and it's no problem. Okay, so over the page now, and we do the exhaust on the same on this side, and we got a couple extra brackets, and it looks like a sway bar going on there, and there's our top down view of how it's going to look like when they're all on, attached as shown. There we go. So this is now attaching the right hand exhaust system. So I'll go ahead and do that, and if there's any complication through, I'll let you know, but should go down in the same way as we did before. Yep. Okay, I shall return. Okay, welcome back. So like the left side of the engine, we're going to do the exhaust on the right side. There it is there, it's all glued, just waiting for that to dry. Then I'll go prime that, and same with all the parts, including the sway bar and some other extensions that all need to be done, as well as the exhaust. Just so I didn't mention, I don't think I mentioned it before, so there's quite a few seam lines on the exhaust and on these as well, and the best way I found to remove them, I'll just show you on here as an example on this one, is where the seam line runs along there. Use the back of your blade to just slowly go along there and just run the back of your knife along there at just a bit of a 45-degree angle, and it'll take off your seam line. Just run it all the way along lightly and it'll be fine. That's how I get rid of the seam lines. Now on the exhaust, I found a few spots that had a little pin marks on them from the sprue, and they needed to be removed completely, and scraping them wouldn't be enough, so I've used these fine Icky Sticky, make these glass files, glass nano files. Okay, that's a fine one, and just a few wipes across with that, and it takes off those other marks that are a bit harder. All right, so there you go. All right, so I'm going to go get these undercoated and painted up in both the black and gloss black, same as the other side, and then we'll put them all on. Again, lining these up wasn't too hard since I've already done it before. Just done it visually, so it worked out. Just very, very important not to get them mixed up. Okay, don't drop it when it's not glued and pieces go everywhere, because you're gonna have a hell of a time trying to figure out what part was number 6 and 7 and 8 because they're all similar. Okay, all right, we'll be back in a sec. All right, welcome back again. So while those parts are out there drying, I've just gone on to have a look at step 21 here. 21 is called the rear uprights. There's quite a lot of parts to it. This is where I'm guessing the rear wheels will connect to. Now, one good thing about all of this is everything here is painted the same color. All right, everything is going to be X18. The only thing that isn't is there's a X11 I saw somewhere. There was something in there that was X11, but pretty much all these parts can be put together and painted after it's all put together. So that makes things a lot easier. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, while I'm waiting for parts to dry, I'll get all these bits off the sprue. There's obviously a left and right, or should I say right and left. So we want to keep these separated. So I'll get all the parts off and ready to put together, and then we'll come back when I'm got the exhaust finished and we're fitting that. But in the meantime, I'll get this all ready and set up. Okay, back again a sec. Okay, welcome back again. So a lot more progress here. I've got the other exhaust side on, as you can see. I think it was here. I can't remember what side it was. Let's lift it up. We've also got those arms you can see here sticking out, as well as this sway bar. I'll just turn it over and you'll see there they are there. And this, I'm not sure where that attaches yet, but we'll figure that out when we get to it. So there's our exhaust pipes on both sides, looking good, running through nice and straight and out at the ends as they're meant to. So that completes step 20. Now step 21, let me just put this carefully away because I don't need that just yet. Put that away. Okay, so step 21 are these uprights for the rear. Okay, so I've put them all together. There's our parts. There's where the wheel will go on and turn as well. So those parts turn. Now there is these parts here which will stay back. These are the plastic bits that go in the back of there. We don't need to paint them, but all this will be painted and it's all X18. So I can go and paint them now. They're all glued together. Went together fine, no problem. You just screw the piece in, put that little piece on the top, and then put that in. You're right to go. It's simple. These will, after it's painted, these will go straight in there like that. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll go paint these now, and then that will actually complete step 21, which there was quite a lot of, if you remember, was all this. Okay, now there are a couple of bits in here. These parts here, they go in at a certain angle, and I had to figure out what that angle is because there's another connecting rod that goes to a point on the bulkhead of the main body. But if you look at the instructions here, we've got some side views that actually show you what angle they need to be when they're glued in. So that comes in very handy for both the left and right. So they're done. So all those parts are done now, and other than painting them, which is what I'm going to do right now, I can also cross off that as complete. Alright, so I will go ahead and paint them, and then when we come back, there's not much to do other than fitting them, but we do have some shock absorbers to put together, or as they're calling them here, rear dampers, and the coil spring. Alright, like pretty much exactly like we've done before. We need to get them painted up and fitted. Alright. Okay, once again, I'll go paint these and we'll come back. Okay, back again, and there's our rear uprights painted, all ready to go. Just always checking to see that the center turns, which it still does. You don't want the paint to lock those. I'm just checking them now actually. Yeah, no problem. That's where your wheels are going to attach. So they're done. These, well, they're pretty simple. Those will just connect in there. You don't glue these. These just go straight in like that. There you go. That's one. There's the other one. Put that in there. Right, and then there'll be like an axle, which is in the next step, which I've put together. They're out there painted at the moment. And there's the springs that we need for the shock absorbers, which are also out there painted at the moment. So we'll just put that aside for a second and just move that over there. Okay, bring our instructions in. So that's all completely done now. We're up to fitting them onto the car. As soon as they're dry, I'll clip these together, which are the springs that go over the shock absorbers. They'll clip on, and then we'll position those on, no problem at all, and then we'll move on to the next step. But this will be in the next video because we're running short of time, but we did get quite a bit done. We've got both sides of the exhaust on, and we've got all these front uprights done, and these are ready to attach, so quite a good bit of progress. All right, so thank you all for watching again. Please hit that subscribe button, it's free to do that, and give us a thumbs up. And if you've got any comments, inspirational comments would be good, although I don't need them because I'm really buzzing through this and it's really enjoyable. Yeah, put anything down in the comments below. Don't forget that I've got a live stream every weekend. We had a record numbers last week. It was fantastic, the most ever. It's really building up, and lots of the new people and new subscribers have popped in to say hello in chat, so that was great, and introduced themselves and let me know where they were from. Really, really good. There's also the option to join and become a member of the channel. It's another way to help support by making a small subscription fee per month. The cost of a cup of coffee, that's all it is, 5 Aussie dollars. Don't know what that is in pounds and US or whatever else, but if you hit that join button that's on there, it'll show you the options and give you all the features, extra features you'll get, and very, very much appreciated. All right, so I guess I'll see you in the next one, which will be part 6 of our Martini Brabham build, which is coming along real well. All right guys, thank you all, and I'll see you then. Bye.